Welcome to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ plus daily news television show, broadcasting live and available on demand on your favorite streaming channels. Analytics company vidIQ has certified that Queer News Tonight's YouTube channel as the world's most popular LGBTQ streaming news show. Our queer stories have reached 11 million views, and Queer News Tonight has been the most watched LGBTQ streaming news and lifestyle show in the world in 2025.
We are proud that Queer News Tonight has more YouTube subscribers than any other LGBTQ brand in Florida.
We thank you for watching and supporting our voice in the LGBTQ community. There is no other news program in the LGBTQ world like Queer News Tonight.
That's right, Larry. It is Monday, August 18th. We are live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we'll tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
You're watching Queer News Tonight, the world's first daily LGBTQ evening news show.
Welcome to the world's most important LGBTQ evening news show. Hotspots Magazine Happening Out Television Network is a nonprofit 501c3 media company in the same model as PBS and NPR, but designed for the LGBTQ plus community.
Our nonprofit mission is to support the 11 pillars of our LGBTQ community. We want to inform and educate on the key issues of lesbian, trans, Latino, Black, healthcare, seniors, students, faith, social justice, business, and queer culture. Help us support our diverse community.
We are part of one of the largest LGBTQ nonprofit media companies in America, Hotspots Magazine and Happening Out Television Network. In 2025, our magazine is celebrating 40 years of the LGBTQ experience, and Queer News Tonight is celebrating our 5th anniversary with more than 11,000 LGBTQ television stories. We present South Florida's major LGBTQ events, including Pride Fort Lauderdale, Stonewall Pride, and PrideFest. Our nonprofit 501c3 magazine, events, television news, talk, and entertainment shows support our mission to educate the LGBTQ and broader community.
In 2025, more than 100 community leaders will sit at this very table and share their voice as our anchors. Together, we host this show to support the LGBTQ plus community. Let's meet this evening's anchors at Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome my friend Gregg Shapiro back to the table. That's Greg with 3 G's, baby. I got that right, Greg. See?
Bravo.
He's
Bravo.
an inductee into the Chicago LGBT Hall of Fame. And Greg is an entertainment journalist whose celebrity interviews and reviews run in a variety of regional LGBTQ publications and websites. Greg, Frankenstein fans will gather at Fort Lauderdale Beach on August 30th to celebrate World Frankenstein Day. Tell us what's happening out.
Fort Lauderdale Beach will transform into a spooky seaside cinema on Saturday, August 30th, as fans gather to celebrate World Frankenstein Day under the stars. The event will kick off at 7:30 p.m. across from Hugh Taylor Birch State Park with a candlelit beach picnic and potluck. Films will roll at 8 p.m. featuring the iconic classics Frankenstein from 1931 and Bride of Frankenstein from 1935. Depending on the night's energy, Son of Frankenstein may also make an appearance. Organizers will invite guests to bring blankets, chairs, snacks, and themed potluck dishes, from bacon-inspired bites to marshmallow mummies. In honor of World Toasted Marshmallow Day, World Beach Day, and World Bacon Day, a special s'more station with a chef's torch will delight sweet and savory fans alike. The evening will also feature a lively Frankenstein costume contest with prizes for Best Monster, Scientist, and Bride looks. Early birds may arrive at 6:30 p.m. to help set up. More information is available online. Well, I think watching these 2 movies, or possibly 3, and celebrating World Frankenstein Day are great ways to whet our appetites for Guillermo del Toro's upcoming Frankenstein remake out in October, starring Yummy, Jacob Elordi, and Oscar Isaac.
Oh, yeah.
And speaking of yummy, I stopped by Sprouts on my way to the studio to pick up a bag of my favorite Dandy's vegan marshmallows.
Wait, what?
Just for the occasion.
Wait.
Dandy's.
What?
Not that I'm asking for Dandy's to send me any, but Dandy's.
Well, you said Dandy's 3 times now. We're up to 5 Dandy's.
Vegan.
Okay.
With carrageenan. Yeah.
With what?
So it's tapioca, carrageenan. There's just no gelatin.
What the hell is carrageenan?
Is
that some vegan stuff? Is that like ants or some stuff? Like, can vegans eat ants, or you can't do that?
It's seaweed, so it's grown. Yeah,
Right,
okay.
that's nasty. How about that? Okay, this event looks incredible,
yes,
but your vegan s'mores look nasty. Like, why can't you have regular s'mores? Because they have
marshmallows.
because they have
Do you want to
gelatin
know how
in
they
it.
make marshmallows?
Do you want to know how they make hot dogs? I mean, like,
I eat tofu hot dogs.
ew! Okay, we'll have another conversation about your tofu hot dogs.
yes,
But s'mores, okay? S'mores are
delish.
an American delight. It's something that we all like have seen on TV or done ourselves, right? Nice and easy, a Hershey chocolate with some marshmallow, graham crackers, and then over an open flame of some sort, right? Get it all together, squish it, make a mess, eat it, and that's the delight of
And
s'mores.
just make sure, you just
You wipe your face a little bit because, it gets on you.
Yes.
It gets on you, right? But do these things melt?
They do.
Like regular marshmallows?
Serious.
I don't believe
I'm serious.
I don't believe
Next time I'll bring a lighter and a stick and we'll burn them on TV.
Well, I think it's pretty exciting they're doing something like that on the beach. I know in Wilton we do movie nights. And to do it on the beach is something new, and I think that's exciting. And if you like some of the classic movies, I think this is going to be a great treat.
Yeah, no, and I was just thinking that when Gregg was reading the story that it's Frankenstein, and then what was 1935?
Bride of Frankenstein.
Bride of Frankenstein was the next one.
Also Lancaster.
Right? And so I was like, what? I'm like, what? And they're doing so many remakes, and it's good to know that they're doing okay. But does it have, like, the Frankenstein that's coming out in October? Is it getting good vibes? Are people saying good things about it? No. Okay.
I'm excited. I know.
But you're excited because the hot guy's in it, not because it's supposed to be any good, Gregg with 3 G's.
It's true.
All right. Well, go on over and watch this show. I mean, watch this movie. Grab your friends. It sounds like a wonderful evening thing to do. Grab your friends and go on the beach. Get your beach towels. Bring some nasty s'mores.
Bug spray. Don't forget the bug spray.
Bring bug spray and bring regular s'mores. Vegan s'mores. What's wrong with it? Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you all at the Fort Lauderdale Beach on August 30th to celebrate World Frankenstein Day. And that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome back to the table anchor Larry Farver. Larry has over 20 years of experience in human resources, acting, film, radio, TV, live events, parade, float design, including in Provincetown, production and casting. He's also a board member of the West Side Association. Larry, the Yes Institute, who we adore, will host a 2-day communications on solutions course on September 6th and 7th. Tell us what's happening out.
Sure, Faye. Yes Institute will present its Communication Solutions course on Saturday and Sunday, September 6th and 7th. The 2-day program will be held in person, offering participants an in-depth learning experience designed to strengthen communication skills in both personal and professional settings. Day 1 will begin at noon and conclude at 6 p.m. Day 2 will follow the same schedule, allowing participants to build on their learnings and apply them to real-world contexts. The course will attract professionals, leaders, and community members seeking to foster authentic dialogue and enhance connections. Yes Institute is formed with a vision to create a community in which all youth develop as healthy individuals, free of suicide, violence, and discrimination. The program will take place at Yes Institute's in-person venue, and full details are available at yesinstitute.org. Well, I think this is phenomenal. I mean, we've had a lot of conversations about, the funding being cut for, the toll-free numbers, especially with our at-risk LGBTQ youth. So this is exciting. It's also exciting, I know on this show, we've had many anchors highlight the fact we need leaders to step up, especially in these times, and develop the skills to interact with all levels and all demographics and all generations. So I'm very excited about this.
We are very, very lucky to have Yes Institute, and the fantastic programming and their mission for youth is just, we met them when we were doing the Legacy Couples museum exhibit, and these kids were just so excited and wonderful. And
I love that. I love that. The Yes Institute does incredible things, right? And something that, Larry, you've worked in HR, right?
Yes.
It's interesting how everybody at this table right now was not born with an iPad in our hand, like many kids are. And we're raised with that, right?
Yes.
Like when we were kids, it was bad that you put your kid in front of the TV for a couple of hours in the evening, right? I mean, think about it, right?
Yes.
Now kids are glued to a screen 24/7. And because of that, they forgot how to interact, how to communicate, something basic that we were taught as kids. You know what I mean? Like, I know people we all know people that are very extroverted online, and then you meet them and they don't know whether to give a hand, give a hug. Like, you can just see that they're uncomfortable. And in this 2-day course, you're going to be able to learn that and even put it into use the second day, do some improv stuff, learn how to maybe talk to somebody that you're going for an interview for or a follow up, you know what I mean? Like, I'm old school, kind of like Gregg, right? I go stay somewhere and I leave them a thank you card, right? Because, this is just some of the stuff that we used to.
Yes.
Yes. You did get a thank you
No, I mean, it's true. It's just simple person-to-person communication that goes beyond a screen, that goes beyond a text. So yes, this is really valuable, very valuable.
Absolutely. And I think it'll help these young folks, in the times we're in, so they can stand up for themselves. Because, certainly we don't want, we want to stand up and teach them to be strong and not necessarily get into fights, but to be able to deal with the people who are out there.
Of course.
In social situations,
there's something to do with just being secure, right? That helps so much in social situations, in communication situations, in business situations, right? The way you carry yourself, the way you look at somebody in the eyes, right? The way you give your hand, right? All these little things, I think we've lost them somewhere over the years,
Just sort of like decorum, common sense decorum, that maybe us of a certain generation take for granted.
Well, I think that the pandemic didn't really help either.
Yes.
A lot of stuff was stunted because of that. So now here's a chance to learn.
Yes,
absolutely.
Exactly. So look up the Yes Institute and go sign up for this course, because I think that it'll be good for everyone, especially the youth. So Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you all at the Yes Institute's 2-day Communication on Solutions course on September 6th and 7th. And that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.
And of course, let's welcome tonight's lead anchor, FayWhat. She is a legendary events host, television and radio personality, and the host of Hotspots Happening Out's The FayWhat Show. Faye, TransSOCIAL, to honor Marsha P. Johnson's legacy on August 24th. Tell us what's happening up.
On Sunday, August 24th, TransSOCIAL will honor the life and legacy of Marsha P. Johnson, a pioneering Black trans activist born in 1945. The commemoration will recognize her role as a key figure in the Stonewall Uprising and her lifelong dedication to advocating for the rights of transgender people, queer youth, and those pushed to society's margins. The event will highlight Johnson's co-founding of STAR, Street Transvestite Action Revolutionaries, an organization created to support unhoused trans and queer youth. Community members, allies, and activists will gather to celebrate her birthday by uplifting Black trans voices, sharing her history, and continuing her mission for equality. TransSOCIAL advocates for trans visibility and unity within the LGBTQ+ community. It is currently serving the community in Florida and in Georgia. For more information is available at transsocial.org. Like we all know that history is being erased right and left in schools, etc. We don't celebrate, LGBTQ+ history anymore. We wouldn't be sitting at this table right now being able to talk about our lives and how we live it and who we love if it weren't for those people throwing the bricks and throwing the shot glasses back in 1968 and having our first pride that was a protest and not a pride of like flags and partying and all of that. It was like, see us, we deserve the same rights as anyone else, and back then that she was fighting for queer youth, and today we're still fighting for queer youth.
And these youth could learn something because She was born in 1945. That was 1969 for Stonewall. She was 24 years old. She was young.
Wow.
So this is a message to young people that you can get out there and you can make a difference. And you can also create a really cool acronym. STAR is one of the best acronyms ever. That's a great 4-letter acronym. She did a great job.
It's like it's interesting how the word transvestite was used that way back then.
Yes.
You know, and like you'll still come across some folks that have that in their repertoire, and we'll try to say, hey, we don't really use that word anymore. But back then, that was the word.
There was no other
you know,
language. Right.
we have Raji sits at this table all the time, and she considers herself, that word because she was so used to using it.
Right.
You know, but that starts something like that back then.
Extraordinary.
You know, to be a black trans woman, sex worker, marginalized, and still saying, no, this doesn't stop here. I'm going to help my sisters. I'm going to help activism.
Right.
Yes.
But it gives me goosebumps because that's who we are, her legacy.
For sure.
Absolutely, and it can't be erased. I mean, I remember being a young person coming out in my early 20s and going to Stonewall Bar and just hearing the stories and seeing some of the people who were actually there at that time.
Yes.
And now we're lucky enough that we have the Stonewall Museum here in Fort Lauderdale as a nod to that time in our history.
100%.
That we need to keep that for
going.
future generations.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And Robert Keston over at Stonewall has made it his life mission to make sure that we have those history papers in place for future generations.
Those are
right?
right.
And TransSOCIAL will make sure that trans folks are always remembered, that we remember that our LGBTQ plus history, we don't have any history without the trans community.
That's right.
We don't, especially black and brown trans folks. So TransSOCIAL, Morgan Mayfair, Ashley Mayfair, you are the power couple that I wish I were. Right, I tell my wife that all the time. We gotta be like them. We gotta be like them. Jess, all the folks, Spider, all the folks over there at TransSOCIAL, they are doing the damn thing. They are doing the dirty work. They are doing the work that we should all be inspired by.
Kudos to TransSOCIAL. And Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at TransSOCIAL on August 24th. That is a big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.
Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm FayWhat, and that's Queer Up Gay Culture. Queer News Tonight history is made with 11 million viewers, and it was reached in August 13th, 2025. Live from the gayest place on earth. Right here. History is being made tonight. Queer News Tonight, America's credible LGBTQ daily news broadcast, has officially crossed a landmark milestone, reaching 11 million viewers on YouTube as of August 13th. The daily live evening program has been the most watched LGBTQ plus evening news and lifestyle streaming program in the world in 2025. The program launched the first Monday of January at the dawn of the coming of COVID pandemic. The show's very first story was to report on the strange new virus rumored from Wuhan, China. It launched as Q News Tonight because producers felt the use of the word queer would be too negative to the LGBTQ plus and broader community. The program was the inspiration of creator Al Ferguson and executive producer Darren Lowley, the CEO of Hotspots Happening Out. The show broadcast every day during pandemic and changed the name to Queer News Tonight a year after the program started. Since its launch, Queer News Tonight has delivered more than 11,000 stories, covering the hard-hitting global, national, and regional issues that matter most to the queer community. In addition to daily news, Queer News Tonight has told thousands of stories about Black, Latino, lesbian, trans, students and youth, seniors, HIV issues, the business community, religion, and about gay culture. From breaking political news to human rights struggles to cultural celebrations, the show has been there telling stories that others often overlook. Queer News Tonight has been anchored by more than 200 community leaders from all walks of our LGBTQ plus life. The show was envisioned to be a hybrid of NBC Nightly News combined with Meet the Press table conversation format. Combine them both and Queer News Tonight was born. The channel's impact continues to grow, now boasting more than 24,000 subscribers who tune into our daily broadcast for bold, timely, and unapologetic ally queer reporting. Queer News Tonight is part of Hotspots Happening Out Television, a powerhouse of LGBTQ media brands committed to producing diverse and engaging content for a worldwide queer audience. Together, these platforms are amplifying queer voices, raising awareness, and creating visibility where it's needed most. As Queer News Tonight looks ahead, we encourage you to follow our channel. Hit that bell icon so you can never miss a video. Because in a world where representation matters, we are making sure LGBTQ voices are not only heard, but also celebrated. This milestone marks not just a number, but a movement, proving that when queer stories are told, the world will listen. Tonight we make history, friends. 11 million viewers strong. Queer News Tonight started as a scrappy experiment during COVID, and now it's the most watched LGBTQ plus news show in the world. This isn't just about numbers. It's proof that when queer stories are told boldly, authentically, and unapologetically, the world will listen. And I'm proud to say that I got here at the end of 2020 during pandemic when we were doing Queer News Tonight from separate parts of the studio with one camera pointing at each anchor, and we all had masks on.
Wow.
And that is how it started, and we were still able to relay the news. So to be able to see that we are here in 2025, 11 million views, like that washes over me like, wow, people are listening. I remember sitting here, and I came here to represent Celebrate Orgullo, which is Unity Coalition's headline event in October. And I remember sitting going, how come I haven't heard this story anywhere else? This affects me. How come this story isn't being talked about on ABC, NBC, or CBS, right? Because it was our job to make sure that those stories were told, and told in a way that were representative of what we live in, of our culture, of the people who we love. Congratulations to Hotspots Happening Out. Congratulations to all the anchors that sit at this table and deliver the news. Congratulations, FayWhat. It's like, this is a wonderful thing that we've done and that we are all a part of. Boys, what do you think?
Well, I almost didn't recognize Al without his trademark orange glasses.
Oh my God, yes!
I'm truly honored and grateful to have been a Queer News Tonight anchor since June of 2021. I'm thankful to Al, Darren, Steve, David, and of course Faye and Larry, my fellow anchors seated at this table, as well as all of those from the past. This has been an amazing experience, and onward and forward.
It's been an honor. It's been over a year, and I'm so proud to be part of this, especially with you, Faye, and Gregg, and so many of the others, and Steve. This is like a dream come true. I went to school for communications, majored in that, and I was a theater minor, and I dabbled over the years and got involved in things, but never in my wildest dreams. I came kicking and screaming to Florida with my husband and said, what the heck is going to await me down here? And this has been the brightest thing in my life. So thank you.
I love that.
Thank you, Queer News Tonight.
And just the vision, right? Al Ferguson and Darren Lowley, thank you for the vision, right? Let's put community leaders, right? Community workers, people from our community, let's have them all sit around a table and speak from their heart, right? Like, yes, we have a teleprompter, but whatever we say is our opinion. We're never told, don't say that, or you can't say that, right? We've always been supported by production, by the folks that make this happen. They've always been like, you're sitting at that table because you represent something that nobody else at that table is representing. Be you, whatever that is, right? In a place where we're constantly watching on TV that everybody's telling us not to be you, right? Be something different.
It's okay. We can agree to disagree. Because
we have. Absolutely. I've had some fights from this table. I've had some laughs from this table. I've cried at this table. So many wonderful things that have come up at this table. And then some of my best friends I've met at this table. People who I break bread with, people who I celebrate holidays with are at this table now, People who I go away on vacation with are at this table, sit at this table, because that just tells you the caliber of people that we have gracing us every single day. And the fact that you folks watch, that is why we keep doing it. That is why we come in and we're so happy to represent what we each represent. It's because of you and you watching. So thank you for watching. Thank you for making us feel that we're doing the right thing, right? Here's to more years, more viewers, more subscribers. Tell your friends, right? Because we're not going anywhere. And we're in Florida. So take that all in, right?
Remember that, yes.
And that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by liking and subscribing Queer News Tonight.
Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Gregg Shapiro, and let's clear up South Florida and Florida. Cities are defying Florida's order to erase pride intersections. Some South Florida cities are pushing back against new state and federal guidance that bans rainbow-colored intersections, a move that could shape how Pride street art survives across the state. While many cities quickly remove their Pride-themed crosswalks to comply with Florida's June 30th mandate, Key West and Delray Beach are standing their ground. On August 6th, the Key West City Commission voted to explore every legal option to preserve its rainbow crosswalks at the intersection of Duval and Petronia Streets. The city also voted to designate the colorful crossing as a cultural landmark and officially recognize the surrounding area as the historic gay neighborhood of Key West, honoring decades of LGBTQ life on the island. Now, in Delray Beach, commissioners have overruled an earlier order from city manager Terrence Moore, who in July said the city must adhere to state guidelines. Instead, the commission decided it would be premature to remove its Pride intersection without a direct order from the state. However, other South Florida cities, such as Miami Beach and Fort Lauderdale, haven't yet made moves. Miami Beach Commissioner Alex Fernandez told Axios that the city has received no communication from Tallahassee and called the ban itself unnecessary, saying, quote, "I believe this is a non-issue, a distraction, a solution in search of a problem," end quote. St. Petersburg Mayor Kenneth Welch has also said his city won't make changes until it knows whether certain public art can be exempt. First, I'd like to say how gay pride proud I am of Key West and Delray Beach. I love that idea of making it a historic landmark and doing that stuff in order to bypass whatever insanity and madness is coming from Tallahassee. Let me just say that DeSantis put the ass into Tallahassee. And second, my husband and I have always both loved both places and patronize them often. However, with Delray being a shorter drive by a good 3 hours and an outstanding location for dining and shopping, we're going to make more stops in Delray Beach for sure.
I saw a video the other day from the commission meeting, right? And I want to give a big shout out going out to Delray Beach's Vice Mayor Rob Long. All right, you are an incredible human, and I started following you immediately, and we need to make copies of you, okay? I don't know if he's gay, and I apologize for not knowing that. I was blown away, okay? He stopped the commission. He goes, yes, I've got something to say, right? We're not just going to paint over this, right? Many other places have found other locations to put the crosswalk or have explored other things that we can do for the LGBTQ plus community. I refuse to allow you to do this. There are certain protocols just with anything else. If you want to change a sign, if you want to add gravel to the middle of the road, like there's so many things that you have to do before that occurs. But all of a sudden, a gay crosswalk, let's paint right over it, you know. And he was like, oh, hell no, we're not doing that. We are doing things accordingly, right? And I kind of didn't expect it from Delray Beach. And I'm sorry for that, right? When I think of Delray Beach, it's the rehab capital of the world, right? That's where a lot of my friends got sober at, you know? So, and I think it's so close to Trump country that I didn't expect that, right? And it could have easily been painted right over if it weren't for those that refuse to let those things just lie and are like, no, I'm going to use my voice. You know, I mean, Key West has gotten less gay over the years. Let's be real, okay? Since the cruise ship started docking there, it got a lot less gay. A lot of the Trump T-shirts in the stores kind of made me very uneasy to be there, right? But I have history there. We all have gay history there. Yes. We're not gonna let that place go. Aquaplex bought a place there on purpose because we want to get it back. We're like, we're making it gay again. Oh yeah. You know, so thank God for these people that are just like unapologetic. You're not going to do this to us. You're not. We're going to stand strong. We're not going to kiss the ring, or we're not going to bend over so you can get my belly. It's not that kind of a party. Screw you. Sorry, Larry. I get a little excited.
No, but you know, I mean, how dare the right take something as innocent as a joyful rainbow that we have adopted? No, we don't have. own the rainbow,
Nope.
but we celebrate it, and it's
Nope.
part of who we are.
Nope.
And, it's just, if you were to tell me this 20 years ago, that we'd be dealing with this
Yeah.
crap,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and when Rob Long did this at the commission meeting, he gave facts, right? And he gave facts and there had been studies that had said that once you hit that marker of the rainbow flag, it makes a car stop beforehand, that there had been less pedestrian issues because of the painted sidewalk. He came with facts to shut these people up.
And that's what they need. And defiance is definitely the word of the day. Defiance.
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 Defiance. Hashtag. That is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight. Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm FayWhat, and let's queer up health. Pap smears in midlife still matter for queer women and people with cervixes. Tonight, we are shining a light on a topic that is often overlooked, but deeply relevant to our LGBTQ plus community. This includes queer women, trans men, non-binary individuals with cervixes, and anyone navigating midlife sexuality. The topic? Pap smears after menopause. According to the American Cancer Society, the average age of cervical cancer diagnosis is 50. The National Cancer Institute adds that deaths from the disease are most common between age 55 and 64. Dr. Marsha, professor of anatomic pathology, emphasizes that women in midlife are at a particularly high risk of being diagnosed with cervical cancer. She explains that screenings offer a chance to catch cancer early, often before symptoms appear. This enables timely intervention and reduces mortality. This is especially important for our community. Many LGBTQ plus individuals face barriers to routine screenings. These barriers include stigma, lack of inclusive care, and misinformation. HPV does not care about age or identity. Pap smears check for abnormal cervical cells, often linked to HPV, the human papillomavirus. Dr. Mindy Goldman, an OBGYN and chief clinical officer at Midi Health, says, quote, while most people's immune systems clear the virus on their own, in some cases HPV can persist for years. Pap smears help detect these abnormalities early, before they become cancerous, end quote. Here's another critical point. More than 70% of cervical cancers are caused by high-risk HPV subtypes 16 and 18. These subtypes can persist for years and cause abnormal changes in cervical cells. If you are dating again, have new partners, or have a history of abnormal results, screening is still essential. As per Dr. Samina Rahman, reminds us, quote, midlife can be a time of joyful, empowered sexuality, and staying proactive about your health is a vital part of that, end quote. This includes HPV vaccinations, which is still available and often covered for those under 45. It is time to normalize these conversations in the LGBTQ plus community. Staying informed is how we stay strong. You know, you boys all both know that, I'm a cancer survivor, and the reality is that I would not be sitting here right now if it wasn't caught early. I was so lucky, right? And then so cervical cancer, the same. It doesn't check your ID. It doesn't care what you were born or who you or how you identify. It can still go after you. And, especially if you have a history in your family as well. Caught early, this could save your life.
Early detection is key. And that bit about, which is so true, this long history of our community facing barriers to screening and healthcare, and just do it. Find a doctor that you can go to. Again, early detection is key. And as for vaccines, at a time when Rifk is busy making vaccines go away because he's insane, just try to get whatever treatment is necessary. Do what you can to see the right doctor.
You've seen the commercials, okay? HPV, the human papillomavirus, is real, okay? And the vaccines are still available, right? If you're under 45, you can still get that vaccine that could save your life. I mean, it's just, we don't talk about these things, Larry. And the reality is that, yes, we have non-binary folks that, have a cervix. So, we have trans men that are men, 100%. But they have a cervix, and these are things that you need to check out.
Yeah, and we need to encourage, any nonprofits that can supplement the cuts in funding for marginalized folks who don't have access to health care. We need to take away the stigma. There's nothing shameful in getting checked.
Yeah.
And, hopefully they have free screenings that can be offered just the way they do for HIV and many other things.
And like they do for breast cancer screenings as well.
Absolutely.
As crazy as the world is right now, and every time we turn on the TV, we're being attacked in some way, shape, or form, right? At least for this moment, right, we still have organizations that you can go to. We have LGBTQ plus providers.
Yes.
You know, it means so much when you get to talk to someone that's in community, right?
Understand.
That's not going to ask me, are you pregnant?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that they know what to ask a gay man, or they know what to ask a non-binary individual. I mean, we are in the times that you can go somewhere and you can go to Can Community Health, you can go to Holy Cross, you can go to SunServe, you can get, told where to go and get the help you need by someone in community.
That's right.
It's so needed.
Again, early detection
is key.
Yeah.
And that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.
Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Larry Farver, and let's queer up South Florida and Florida. Courtyard Café, legendary Courtyard Café, makes a comeback on Wilton Drive. Wilton Drive is preparing for the return of a beloved community staple. Courtyard Café, long remembered for its welcoming atmosphere, late-night bites, is reopening later this month. Chef Manny, a familiar face to many, announced the news in a Facebook post. He wrote, quote, "Well, I guess the cat is out of the bag. LOL, I was Sean's right-hand man and chef at Courtyard Café for over 6 years. For the past 2 years, I have heard and read a lot of comments about how the community misses what Courtyard brought to the neighborhood. Well, guys, I'm proud to announce, with the help of longtime friend Dom Caruso, we are bringing Courtyard Cafe back to the Drive," end quote. Dom Caruso and Manny are reopening the cafe at 2468 Wilton Drive inside the same building as Caruso's. The new hours will be 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. daily, with extended late night hours on weekends. The grand reopening is set for Saturday and Sunday, August 30th and 31st, featuring complimentary mimosas, drink specials, and discounts on appetizers. Manny thanked the community, saying, quote, "From the old Courtyard crew to the new, we love you guys. Thank you for the past and future support," end quote. Courtyard Cafe is remembered as the cornerstone of Wilton Manor's LGBTQ nightlife, and its return is expected to draw many familiar faces. Well, personally, it was one of the first welcoming places. Being a Jersey boy, born and bred, it was my diner on the Drive. And when it closed, I was heartbroken. So I'm excited to see it returning to a different part of the neighborhood on the Drive. It's nice that it's near 5 Points. It's nice that it's
Good
near
location.
Dixie Highway with the art scene.
Yeah.
And soon to open Gray Box. So it'll be a place, especially on weekends, to go late.
But it's only open during the day.
I think they said maybe some
weekend hours. Later weekend hours.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
But we need another place,
For sure.
especially for brunch, breakfast.
Of course.
Just a place where you can just let your hair down and enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
For those who have hair. Well, butter my butt and call me toast. I've been saying that the Drive desperately needed a new diner ever since the original Courtyard Cafe closed. And now we have an old diner in a new location. As long as I never have to step foot in Peter Pan again, color me happy.
Yeah, I guess I'll second that. There was something missing on the Drive since they went away, right? Like just something was missing, right? And we all knew it was the Courtyard. Like we missed the Courtyard. And trust me, when Myth came in, we loved Myth. The food was fantastic, all that kind of stuff. But it still had, every time you walked in, you were like, oh, the Courtyard was here, right? Like you would always say that. You know what I mean?
The diner vibe.
And again, being from Jersey as well, like I'm all about a diner, But also, like, what a great idea. Like, I love Dom. Dom, hi, sir. Dom is awesome. He always gives me his balls. I love it. Meatballs. And him and his wife are just beautiful people. They have wonderful hearts, and they're always helping the community. But what a great idea. Think about it, right? Sure. They're not open during the day, right? So how about let's cut the cost. Let's share this beautiful space. Let's give the Wilton folks what they want, and let's both work out of here. it's genius. It's what it is.
Yes.
Come on, it's genius. And like, we don't have a breakfast place like that on the drive.
not
Nothing
anymore.
like that.
No.
Yes, the bagels are fantastic, right there across the way, but it's not the same as a it's delegated for breakfast. You're sitting down, you smell the home fries, you smell the eggs on the grill, like that kind of stuff. Like, I love that.
Sassy waiters and waitresses.
Yeah.
Like scream at me and throw something and throw a biscuit at me. Like, that's what I want. You know what I mean? I said no gravy. Well, you're having gravy. Like, that's what I want. And that's what we're going to have there. I miss that, right? Kudos to your folks. Manny, I don't care who came up with it, and I don't care over like what or how. It's like, it's perfect. It's perfection. Thank you so much for giving us back what we were longing for and didn't know how to really get it back,
It's very comforting.
Yes.
Comfort food, and
Delish.
we need it these days, that's for sure.
Oh,
We'll
my
be there.
God, for sure. We will be there, and we'll be there for the grand opening as well, all right? And that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight. Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm FayWhat, and let's queer up South Florida and Florida. Pridelines will close Miami Center and move to former smaller space on Miami Beach. Pridelines, Miami and South Florida's oldest LGBTQ plus organization, announced late Friday that it will close its Liberty City Center and relocate to a smaller space in Miami Beach. It is just the latest sign of the problems of one of the South Florida's most important LGBTQ nonprofits has been facing. In a press release sent out under the name the Pridelines team and board of directors, with no specific individual attached, the organization said it will move its headquarters to the Miami Beach LGBT Visitor Center at Old City Hall on Washington Avenue. The statement described the move as a homecoming and an effort to reconnect with our mission. But the decision marks a dramatic reduction in space and shifts Pridelines from central Miami-Dade County to a more isolated Miami Beach location. Advocates note this will make it harder for LGBTQ youth across the country across the county to access programs and resources. The Liberty City building, after more than a year of operation, will be handed over to a community health partner that plans to transform it into a clinical care facility. Prideline says it will eventually return to that space to host support, wellness, and development groups, but gave no clear timeline. The change comes amid ongoing financial pressures. While Pridelines highlighted upcoming new programs and partnerships with the Miami-Dade Gay and Lesbian Chamber of Commerce, the move underscores serious challenges facing the 43-year-old nonprofit. Prideline's new Miami Beach headquarters will open from August 18th, Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. We all know the world that we're in, and nonprofits are definitely affected. My thoughts go out to the youth and queer folks in the Alapata area that relied on help from Pridelines being at that location.
Right, and it's an important question. How will people get to the South Beach location? It's probably not the most accessible place, and that's kind of sad. But the Pridelines team and board of directors have had quite a year, and I certainly hope they're able to survive yet another transition. I mean, 43 years is a long time to be around, so I really hope that they can survive this so that the organization continues its mission.
Yeah, and I'm not as familiar as both of you are with the Miami area, but maybe if there's some funding out there, they can work something out with the mass transit or something like that for the youth so that they can get passes. I'm not sure if it's realistic to travel that way, or maybe, something similar to a Lyft or something where they can get discounted, free passes to travel.
Yeah, I mean, you're not around 43 years without having thoughts like that, right? So I think that this was part in their wheelhouse already.
Okay.
But I mean, they would have to probably get that to a different caliber, right? With moving down to Miami Beach.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we wish them well, and that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight. Those are today's headlines from Queer News Tonight, and these anchors represent the best of our LGBTQ plus community.
If our community is important to you, share this news with your friends and family. Join the conversation on your favorite streaming platform.
Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ plus digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines. We need your support. If our community is to grow and then thrive, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world.
This is the only place in the world that tells these types of LGBTQ stories in motion and sound. That is the passion of Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network, and Queer News Tonight.
I'm your lead anchor, FayWhat, and I wish you a fabulous evening on behalf of these LGBTQ plus reporters, the incredible anchors of Queer News Tonight, including Gregg Shapiro and Larry Farver. We will see you daily at 8 p.m. To our LGBTQ plus world, we hope that you would join us by embracing love, generosity, bravery, by being transformative and being queer. Happy 11 million views! Good night!